Hey class, 4-6 is on corresponding parts of congruent triangles. We're actually going to introduce that topic, and then we're going to look at proving that triangles are congruent, and we're going to use proofs to do this. Now the book talks about using paragraph proofs, but we're actually going to use some T-chart proofs that are going to be a little easier to follow and are a little bit shorter and sweeter. Okay, so let's first talk about corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, or that Cpctc. That's how we're going to abbreviate it when we use it for proofs. So if we know that two triangles are congruent because we are either told that or we've been proven or we've proved that, then we know that all corresponding parts of a triangle are congruent. So let's say that I give you that these two angles are congruent, and I give you that these two angles are congruent. Okay, so if we look here, we can do a little inferring. We can see that they share this side. So if they share a side, then we know it is congruent to itself. And that is actually using the reflexive property. Okay, reflexive property states if something is congruent to itself. So if two triangles share a side, those two sides, or that one side, is gonna be congruent to itself. So that's the reflexive property. Okay, so let's look at writing a T-chart proof. You start off, you have statement and reason, and the first two things you list, or the first things you list, are the givens, the things that are marked and that we know in our triangles. Okay, now my question is AE, so that's this side, congruent to DB, which is this side. So I'm actually going to pull this out and draw it as two separate triangles. Okay, to help me see these triangles. We have A, E, and B. Okay, and I'm adding in my markings. And then I have A and D. Okay, and B also. So A and B are used for both of them. We have angle marking and angle marking. Okay, so I see two angles that are marked as congruent, so those are my givens. So I'm going to use the three letters to denote the angles because angle A is a little bit different in both the triangles. So I can say angle EAB is congruent to angle, and now I'm going to name it in the other triangle DBA. Okay, and my reason, it's a given. It's given to me. Okay, the second one is I'm going to use my angles in the top of the triangle. So angle AEB is congruent to angle BDA. And this is another given. Typically we get two givens. Sometimes we get three. All right, so now I have two angles that are congruent. I need to have a third thing to be able to say that these two triangles are congruent. So let's look back at our original picture, and I see that the two triangles share a side AB. So it's in both of my triangles, so I can say that AB is congruent to AB because of reflexive property. And it's not just reflexive, it's reflexive property. Okay, so now I have marked three different things in my triangle. And now I can say my triangles are congruent because of angle, angle, side. So step 4, triangle ADB is congruent to triangle BEA. And we said that it's because of angle, angle, side. All right, we need to prove that our triangles are congruent before we can state that any part is congruent. So now I can say AE is congruent to BD. And now, because I know triangles are congruent, the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, if you had some trouble following this along, pause it, rewind it, watch it again. We're going to do a couple more together in class the next time I see you. So be ready to work through those together. Some important things to remember about proofs. Always list your givens. Typically there are two of them. Add any information you can infer. So if you see vertical angles, we use reflexive property. If we have parallel lines, we can talk about alternate interior angles. You must prove your triangles are congruent before you can use Cpctc. So notice how I did that on the previous problem. When we prove our triangles are congruent, these are the only 4 reasons we can use to say our triangles are congruent. Angle, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, side. And you always end with what you're trying to prove. Okay? So important things to remember. We'll talk about these again. And here's the assignment. 1 through 9 gives you proofs or gives you pictures and asks you, well, do you know if these things are congruent? Before you can say that they're congruent, you need to prove that the triangles are congruent. So if you know that the triangles are congruent by one of our 4 congruences, then you're going to use a T-chart proof to prove that those sides or those angles are congruent. And we'll talk more about that again when I see you guys next. And we'll maybe even do a couple together. 13 through 15 just asks you to find your congruent triangles and finish the congruent statement. So 1 through 9, T-charts. Not all of them are going to use it because some of them we can't prove. All right, we'll see you guys later.